Welcome back to the Tide Dream Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news in review for April 16th, 2023. We've got some Transformers news, some Masterpiece, some Legends, and some mainline stuff. A few things going on with Super 7 and some reactions, and maybe you get some reactions from some of the interesting stuff coming their way. Kind of a quick update on Ramen and what's going on with the Racer and some of the other projects they have going on. We've got McFarlane Toys, and there's nothing to see here. We're going to talk about the Invisible Jet and a bunch of other things, including Star Wars, coming up. Starting out with what's new at Show Z, Fans Toys FT44T, the US version, Thomas Astral Train is coming in stock. So no sooner do I say in my list that I think that the Japanese version is going to come first because that was what was listed, does my US one get billed, so it should be shipping soon. Anyway, if you're in on this, it still shows as pre-order, so I think they're filling the pre-orders first, or maybe they're getting in multiple batches, so I'm not really sure about that. $220. So I've seen several people in the comments say that the Fans Toys Blur, the Jabber, is sold out everywhere and is really expensive on the secondary market, so this is an option. Unique Toys is still up for pre-order. Don't know when it's going to come in, though. I thought it would have been in by now, but you know, it was ETA last year. Still think it's coming. Unique Toys is still putting out figures, so not bad. $2 down. And this one's called the Unique Toys UTY02 Buzzing. And we've talked about this MPH Studio MPH03 Warpath. This one is up for pre-order, $1 down. It is a Legend scale, so it's 2.3 inches tall, because it is a mini bot, so pretty exciting, pretty fun. I got mine pre-ordered. Okay, starting out talking about some Masterpiece stuff, we do have the Vectron Labs, the VL01A Ringyo. This is their first piece for their Devastator, and it looks like it's going to be pretty good. This is the final prototype or something that they're talking about. Anyhow, they are still working on this and getting it out to us, and it's pretty exciting. So I am actually going to be excited to see when this actually starts showing up in people's hands and reviews and all that kind of stuff, because we do need a very G1-esque Devastator and more options out there. And I gotta say, once this thing is completed, when it's completed, it will probably put a big dent in Toy Worlds. So there's also this golden chest. It's not the golden ticket, golden chest. So the story behind this is that Fans Toys came out with originally this vac metallized looking gold chest, and this the cassette opening part, and people complained about it, so they changed it to yellow, and now other people are complaining that it's not the gold. So you get the best of both worlds. You can buy the additional chest, and I think it's going to be $15. It's up for pre-order, $1. It shows you right now. And the word on the street is it will be $15. So if that's something that you want, you can get it as an add-on to your figure. I went ahead and pre-ordered one. I was like, screw it, I want it. I'm going to try it out and see what's going on with it. Hopefully they all show up at the same time. But this is interesting. I wouldn't say it's unprecedented. We saw some sort of situation with Grinderhead, but it is a little odd that they don't just include it. So we've got some 3-0 Deluxe Collectible Figure RC from the Bumblebee movie, over 60 points of articulation, 8 inches tall. So this is the Bumblebee movie version, and pretty exciting. They do not transform, so they can make it look as close to screen accurate as possible, and RC is definitely the one that benefits the most from non-transformation. Although I personally would have liked a Super Ultra G1 version, this is still pretty exciting. I'm not really sure on price or availability and all that kind of stuff just yet, but this is the only picture, the only reveal so far. Following up on last week's Like Toys Devastator upgrade kit. So this is an upgrade kit for existing figures that are out there, the existing KO oversize, and they've dropped the price to $300 even shipped. Still sounds like a lot of money, but it's not really that bad in comparison to some of these other ones. This is how big it is next to Zeta. And last week's pictures were not posed at all. And so this week's you see with a little bit of posing. Just a little bit. It looks so much better. So they do great works. I've never heard of anybody that got one of their upgrade kits that's disappointed with it. But it is $300 for upgrade kit parts for the most part. But you can't really argue with the results. And there it is. So we got pictures, more pictures of the Ramen Toy Seekers, and it's just kind of, this is how this Transformers news goes. We get a little bit more information each week. This is how they're packed in the package, so you will have to slide down the legs and all that kind of stuff. But I also think, and I'm pretty much certain, the wings can actually go down on thrust and go behind them. They don't have to be up like that. But anyway, anyhow you want to do it will work. But this is moving along pretty quick, and this should be in our hands pretty soon. So, sort of exciting, pretty exciting. I was actually thinking that we'd have heard something from Deformation Space on them making cone heads, but they are not. As it stands right now, it's either this or the old Takaras, and I kind of think these look a little better. So, that's where we're at, and if you're in on these, then you can be excited to get them soon. We got the Flame Toys Furai Action Leo Prime. These are some official samples of this. They're 60 points of articulation, posable cape, and display base, and premium finish. So looks pretty good overall if you're in on this. This is yet another company making stylized, non-transforming action figures at a very high price point, but a very premium paint, premium hardware, premium materials, and all that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. If you're in on this guy, this might be the best one because it doesn't have to transform. So, more pictures of this. So, this is called Fan Alliance, and I thought it was called Mod Fans, so maybe they're changing their name or just figuring out what's going on with themselves. But, anyway, this is that roller, and here it is kind of next to the trailer parts that come with MB44 and all of that, and coming along quite nicely. It's a nice looking bot overall. And then here it is in the roller form. So if you're really wanting to get a transforming roller and all that good stuff and all that jazz, then here it is, transforming roller. More pictures, pretty similar to last week's, not a whole lot updated from last week. Alright, so getting down to some Legends news, we have some new Legends stuff in here. This is supposed to be a Raiden figure. So this is from a company KO model. And anyway, this shows it's about the size of the Magic Square Prime and what's it look like in bot mode. And it's got the bar of soap coloration to it right now, but it'll probably look phenomenal when it is fully colored and painted and all that kind of stuff. Also, they're making a Windblade, and so this is their version of a Windblade, also Legends scale, kind of showing you next to a Cyclonus and all that. And here's what I want to say about her, and let's get into one where we're just looking at her by herself. This is not super ultra stylized. It is not overly sexualized or any of that kind of stuff. So this is a nice looking, decent Windblade that is going to work. And there's very few Fembots in the Legend scale, so quite welcomed. And I'm pretty sure it's going to transform, but there's no alt mode shown just yet. Okay, so we've got some New Age H53P Michael Omega Supreme. This is called YOG, Yog. And so I think that both these colorations are Guardians, Cybertron Guardians. Then again, I could be wrong, so whatever. Anyhow, still, this is kind of a purple one, and here's what it looks like in the alt mode. And looking at both of these, because we're going to see the other one here in a second, they both look a bit metallic colored. Like they've got more of an upgrade coloration to them, like there's more into the coloration. So this is the other one. They call this H53B Dragon, and looks great. I mean, just this blue, it pops. Doesn't that have a metallic look to you? I mean, it does to me. Far more than the original one, which I don't have my hands on it yet. I ordered my batteries for it though, so hopefully I get my batteries in this on the same day. That'd be cool. Or at least my batteries first. And then here's the alt mode, and just look at the shine on that. I mean, I really do think this got some metallic look to it. Looks fantastic overall. And I'm hearing great things about this. Almost 11 inches tall. And so I'm hearing great things about the standard one. Nobody's really got these recolors in their hands just yet. Magic Square is working on their magic with their Swindle. They have shown us now 2 of their figures for their upcoming Bruticus. And in typical Magic Square style, it looks fantastic. So this looks great in all modes. It's going to look fantastic in combined mode, and I think they do great work. And with that, it is going to look good. Now it's going to be a little bit flat, matte paint, and it's not going to pop paint-wise, all that kind of stuff. but it will look great design-wise, and looking forward to this. Although I'm not in on this, I kind of hope they do put out a set at maybe a lower price. I did end up buying a KO of their Minosaur, which I love it, but it's way too big for Legends, so I do understand why people are in on this at the ground level. Okay, so there's a company, Renderform, at renderform.com, that makes a lot of stuff, but they're making an upgraded head for Crasher for the Walmart version, and it's $17. I don't know about shipping and all that kind of stuff, but they are on their third batch of these, so they keep selling out, and so I'm just shocked there's that many people that own the figure. Anyway, still, it looks pretty cool, it looks pretty interesting. One thing I would have liked is if they would have like had the add-on piece, so it has like the back or the front of the spoiler, front end, not spoiler, but the front end of the vehicle that's on the back also. But I mean, a couple of other things, all great ideas. Decent looking head sculpt. I think the reflection on this picture doesn't make it look as good as it really is, but it is a very nice head sculpt. If you want to get it, renderform.com. Go, we got some in-hand pictures of Mirage for the Rise of the Beast deluxe figure, if you care. And this is what it looks like in its bot mode. Interesting for what it is. I'm going to watch the movie. I'm going to give it a fair shake, of course. Then here's Mirage in the alt mode, and that's a very interesting looking alt mode, and it's different in a lot of ways, but hey, we've got a lot of standard jazzes, so really there's no need to complain about this. If you don't like it, just don't buy it, right? There's a bunch of pictures for Rise of the Beast Mainline Autobots Unite collection stock images, and I don't really think hardly any of this looks good, but it's not targeting us, it's targeting kids and all that kind of stuff. I want to say the alt modes look pretty decent, but the bot modes look pretty rough. This Bumblebee, the alt mode looks great once you got it all closed up, so that looks pretty good. Here's Battle Trap for what it's worth, if that's something that you're going to be in for. It's not horrible in the alt mode, but the bot modes kind of lose it a bit. Here's the Cheetor, and which I don't think either mode looks good on this Cheetor. This is supposed to be like real easy, simplistic transformations and that kind of stuff. That is the whole point of this line, which is why it's not going to look great. Just so you know, they're not going to look great. And these pictures are also showing like extra action that it can do, so it doesn't look quite as good with the action gimmick in there and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to spend much more time talking about this. There are some interesting buzzworthy Bumblebee stuff coming our way. This is supposed to be a reissue of Grimlock for the AoE. And with that, it is going to be a leader class reissue. If you missed out on the first go-around, then you could get it on this go-around. And I believe this is the one that they made, the really big one originally, that was just gigantic. I mean, I don't know, like 18 inches tall or something, just huge one. I don't remember how tall it is. But I've got one, I just never opened it. But I got it on super ultra clearance. But this is different coloration to that, and nowhere near as big. And you know, I come to think I have never actually picked up a standard Hound in the Siege. So looking forward to this. I do have like a KO oversize of the Siege one, but looking forward to this. Buzzworthy Bumblebee is going to be getting the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Hound. So it's going to look more G1-esque. The design is still not going to be the greatest because it's still got a lot of Siege in it, it looks like to me. But it does look like it's going to match color-wise and more the aesthetic for a G1. And really, it's probably going to be the best one that they've made that Hasbro's put out in a long time. So anyway, there's a bunch of other stuff that makes no sense to me. So I guess really Retro 6, Retro 8, DTC1. Then there's a Leader SG Grimlock, which we already know, Shatterglass Grimlock. So DTC 3, 4. None of this stuff really teaches us anything or tells us anything, informs us. And there's a comic pack coming. So there's a Super Deluxe Optimus Prime Rise of the Beast that's coming with a whole bunch of stuff. And it's going to have, you're supposed to have some sort of battery to operate all kinds of lights and sounds that are on this stuff. And it does transform and button activated. This, that, another. Now, it doesn't auto-transform. You will have to manually transform it. And something going on with that lion in the chest. But it turns into this, so whatever this is. So this is something different. Like, we're entering a new era. And they're doing something different with Optimus Prime. And this is it. So, interesting. It's going to be big. It's going to be 10 inches. So, it's technically going to be about the size of a Masterpiece figure. But not Masterpiece styling. And then there's going to be like a 10 to 12 inch version of Ultimate Optimus Primal toy. And so with that, there's supposed to be a whole lot of stuff going on with it too. But there's no actual pictures of it. This is some sort of a render made by someone just to kind of give you an idea of what it's going to look like, I guess. But anyway, there's just they're going all out with this movie. And when they have media, of course, they support it. So there's a slew of rumors this week, but the Legacy Uni-Core Beast Machines Cheetor and Beast Wars Dinobot supposed to be coming in 2024. So the thing is, we haven't really seen modern Beast Machines, and I start to wonder, would modern Beast Machines be an improvement on the original designs and make them better? I do have a collection of Beast Machines that I don't do anything with, haven't done anything with, and I actually don't even know what to do with them. Like, I'm not sure with Beast Machines if I'm fully in one mode or fully in the other mode correctly. Anyway, still, with all of that, it'd be kind of interesting to probably relive that chapter of the story. It's about time. It's that time. It'd be interesting to see what they do with modern technology, engineering, and, you know, Takara behind all that. So, will be interesting. And then, of course, Dinobot. I'm never against another better Dinobot. Alright, so getting into other news, let's talk about Ramen Toy real quick. There's the product offerings that are up for pre-order right now. Currently, I placed my order for the stuff that I'm in on, and this early bird pricing for the things that are early bird priced are going through the 9th of May. I believe that includes the Ramen Racer, so it stands with early bird pricing till the 9th of May. So get it in. After that, prices go up and all that kind of stuff, but they are pushing these into production and all of that, so there's no question Ramen Racer is definitely going to make it into production. As you can see, it's $175 for the Racer, plus $11 for each of the add-on kits if you want to customize this for what you want. Whatever you want. And the price on the upgrade kits, those prices are their cost. They're giving to you for cost, $11 for each upgrade kit you want. You can order multiple upgrade kits if you want. Now, I'm not in on the Ramen Racer. I can't really afford to swing that. It's not in my wheelhouse. But I am in on this. This is where I'm going. Excited for it. I do want to say the packaging looks phenomenal. I am stoked about the packaging. Really excited about the direction they're going with this. And so very excited about it. And I'm also excited about all of the 80s Commander stuff that's coming out with the Apache Commander and all of that, and the Doom Drone and all those things. So really exciting stuff from Ramen Toy. So get in. You got like, 2 weeks or so, maybe 3 weeks left on early bird pricing. Except this guy. This guy's not early bird pricing anymore. Okay, so I am excited that we're getting the McFarlane Toys Invisible Jet. It's coming to retail. I'm hoping that this is just a strange angle and it's not super stubby short. But we've seen every single one of McFarlane's vehicles a bit undersized. They're a bit undersized. So with that, I'm a little disappointed. I wanted it to be a little bit bigger. Wish it was a little bit taller, not a little smaller. But anyhow, I think that the jet itself is barely going to hold her. Not going to hold any passengers. It's going to be really small. The one that Funko made, literally, this feels barely bigger than the one Funko made. And the Funko made one for a 2-inch figure, not a 4-inch figure. So that's a little disappointing. But they're going to hit a price point. It's going to be an option that's available, and it's never been made for this scale before. So let's celebrate that, I guess, as a win. And yes, it's a Walmart exclusive. We've got some Super 7 stuff going on. Their Tron light cycles and figures went up for sale on Shop Disney. I just went over there to go, oh, okay, let me go order one, and it's sold out. It's not even on the site. It doesn't even show you it as sold out. So either I just can't find it, search for it, whatever. $35 each is not a bad price. It's actually a phenomenal price to get a light cycle and a figure. That's phenomenal. But these are smaller than the NECA and the original ones. I think, was it Mattel? No, Tomy. The original Tomy ones. So they are smaller. They are not the same scale. So they won't really display together well. But anyway, this was a little disappointed I missed out on this. But there are other ways to get it in the future. I hope. I believe. So they're also making their black hole figures. So if you want to get some black hole reaction figures, then jump on over to BBTS or wherever to pre-order these and Entertainment Earth. Very hot commodity. People really want these because the vintage ones are so expensive. And to have basically what looks like the vintage ones and carded and all that kind of stuff. I mean, living in this space with this retro, some of these obscure lines are going to be really, really, really popular because of the fact the originals are so hard to get and so expensive and all of that. And you get to recreate the packaging and all that. That's really very smart. Some of the reaction stuff is kind of a waste and overpriced, but even at $20, these look like a steal compared to vintage ones. So NECA's showing off some sort of something they call the fifth turtle, the April's April takeover. I don't know what it is at all, really. Truthfully, I was doing some running around, and it's getting really hard to find anything from their Holothon. Last year's Holothon stuff's still sitting on shelves in some places, but this year's is really drying up fast. So I'm not sure if they produce less or what's going on with that, or it's just more popular. But yeah, this year's Holothon stuff's selling through a lot faster than I thought it would. In the realm of Turtles, since Super 7 with their Ultimates has sort of pushed back their Rat King and they're redoing that, took it out of the Wave 10, they put the Karai figure in there. I'm not going to pretend to act like I have a clue who Karai is. I just know that I've heard people talk about it, and this is the figure, and it's not a bad looking figure. It is a figure, and not really sure how excited people are to get it, but maybe a better Rat King would excite people. We'll see what that looks like when they put it back out. What, Wave 11, 12, 13, 14? Who knows? Here's a little information about the He Skeletor, which was one of those that a lot of people were predicting there'd be plenty of them, and it's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to sell out. It's sold out. And this is what I found interesting. A lot of the stuff that they're putting up is like 6 or 8 months down the road, or 3 months down the road, or whatever. This thing shipped 2 days later. It's like, oh, it's already in the mail to me. So I ordered mine on Tuesday. I think Thursday I got a shipping notice. So it should be coming somewhere soon, I hope, I guess. But I think it looks cool. But I don't know. I'm growing kind of tired of these strange repaints. And like I can't even get a cold R. So anyway, I still jump in on it. I still support it. But it's kind of strange. Knowing the future ones, though, are probably all going to be already produced. And that's what I'm saying here. Just so you know, all of the Star Wars Celebration, so Indiana Jones Celebration, Lucasfilm, I'll talk about that in a second, but all those are for pre-order now. They went up for pre-order on Tuesday. Everywhere you want to go, pre-order has them. I think there's only one that's an exclusive to Pulse, so I pre-ordered it at Pulse just to make sure I could get it. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be plenty of stock of all of them, but if you like to pre-order these things, pre-order them. Here's why. Indiana Jones is only going to be around while there's media to support it, and if the movie flops, they're just going to cold stop what's going on with it. We are lucky that we're getting Dungeons & Dragons, which I'm going to talk about next. We're lucky to get Dungeons & Dragons Series 2, and I'm seeing I finally, for my first time, actually saw Dungeons & Dragons stuff on sale in a store, and that was shocking. But if you want to get these, get them now. It is really hard to find retro figures in the wild. Really hard. I'm speaking from experience. I wanted to complete 2 full sets because I haven't yet, and it's a lot harder than I thought it'd be. Way harder. So I'm reading about Dungeons & Dragons Paramount Plus live action Dungeons & Dragons series that Drew Cravello, I don't know who that is, as a showrunner of Paramount. And they're supposed to be making a pilot and 8 episodes of the series. So I don't know anything about it. I don't know if it's going to be based on this movie that just came out. Is it going to be based on the old cartoon? Is it going to be truly just based off the game? So I don't know anything about it. I'd love to get more information about it. I was actually shocked when I heard this was happening. A D&D TV series. But I have not heard anyone come out with a negative review on the movie. So I haven't seen the movie yet, but I haven't heard a negative review. So pretty exciting, and the franchise seems quite strong. All right, so I guess I'm going to talk about this WWE Ultimate Edition, WCW Monday Night Nitro entrance stage, $400, needs 5,000 backers. They have 2,076, 41% funded. I believe you get an unlock number 4 at 11,000. You get a Hulk Hogan. Okay, so unlock number 1 entrance stage. With Rey Mysterio and Scott Steiner at 5,000 backers. At 7,000 backers, you get a Diamond Dallas Page. At 9,000, you get Ultimate Warrior, and then 11,000, you get the Hulk Hogan. I mean, dreaming on that, right? So this doesn't look like it's going to make it. It's got 20 days to go and no excitement around this. $400 for an interest stage. I can understand. Like, that's probably the most exciting thing is when it all starts and all the lights and all the stuff and people walking down and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not in on this. I'm not in on it, and I'm not in on wrestling at all, really. But I think this is pretty flashy and fun. I think the price point should have been closer to $250, though. Am I right? Okay, so looking at Nacelle Biker Mice, they've shown some more pictures. It's got 15 points of articulation. So there is a lot of question when it comes to Nacelle with how much articulation are you putting in your sectors, how much is going to be in your power. The power boards are just going to be exciting, really exciting. And this is sort of middle of the road. It really does not seem like there's a lot of support for Biker Mice, which is sad because it's pretty cool figures. And this is a pretty cool concept. But shoulder, neck, wrist, elbow, leg, waist, knee, ankle, tail articulation. So way more articulation than we saw before. And now they're also including a swappable head with a helmet on. If you're one of the 300 people that watched my Biker Mice video, that's sad. That's really sad. I think there's more people that are interested in Ghostbusters, but barely, than Biker Mice. The helmets pop off real easy on Biker Mice, original ones. So having a swappable head makes more sense, and so that's the route that they're going. But anyway, if you're in on these, they're like $40, and you can pre-order them BBTS and some other places, or straight through to sell. Alright, so I guess we're getting into Star Wars then. That's all that's really left, huh? So we've got the Vintage Collection Tusken Raider and massive 2-pack. Again, you can't see the figures in this. I don't buy any of those. I won't buy them. I have no need for them. Even if I think the figure's cool, I have no use for it, so I don't buy it. Anyhow, pretty interesting though. I don't know who was asking for this, but there it is. I don't know. We're also getting a Luke Skywalker, which is pretty cool looking, but it's basically, to me, it's the same Luke that they're using as the retro Jedi Luke, but maybe it's a different head sculpt. I don't know. But kind of lazy reuse and just recard is the way it feels to me. Until I get him in hand, look at them side by side, but I do love Jedi Luke, so it's going to be hard for me to say no, even though I think it's kind of a waste of a release. And then we are getting a 2-pack for Cad Bane and Vanth. So, Cobb Vanth. With that, Black Series 2-pack, probably really expensive, and I don't know. How many Cad Banes do we need? Well, I guess there's just no maximum amount. He's a pretty cool character. I did pick up a Mandalorian Prototype Edition. I'm hit and miss on these. If I find them in the store, I buy them. If I don't, I don't. Whatever. But they're pretty expensive. I think they're like $18, was it? I can't remember, but I remember thinking it was way too expensive for what it was. And anyhow, it's cool. If you're in on this, then check your targets. But truthfully, I lucked out and saw one. I haven't seen one. 3 more targets? None anywhere. And when it comes to Star Wars, the big question is what's going to be the next HasLab. Until we get official, I'm not making a video on it. I'm done with guessing because nothing makes sense to me anymore when it comes to Star Wars and the Star Wars team. But I want to say everybody's quadrupled down on it being the Ghost. And with that, the Ghost is the larger ship. The Phantom is the smaller ship. And the one on the bottom right, I don't know what that is. But what I want to say is if they make this, they're going to have to include a Phantom. Because not everybody was able to get their hands on the Phantom. Although it was on clearance at Ollie's and all those places, and Ross and Big Lots, and it was clearanced everywhere. It's just clearance on that thing until later down the road people realized they wanted it. And so with that, will they include that if this is the HasLab? Is Rebels big enough? Is there a big enough Rebels following to support this ship? This ship is not nearly iconic enough, in my opinion, to be a HasLab. But if they do it, would it even fund? Or would we be looking at a 3-time strikeout at Star Wars? I don't know. So other people think that it's going to be an Ewok village. I don't know. We're all still guessing. So with it, I just don't think Rebels has the support. I think that those who really collect it spend the high dollar on catching up for it, but I don't think this will fund because there's not enough people that care. Well, especially not for like $400, you know. So anyway, let me know what you think about this week's weekly news and review. What else is cool that's going on out there that I missed? Like and subscribe. Teddy, I'm hanging out.